Well, hey everyone, welcome to Optimizing Your Google Business Listing. My name's Will Hankey, and today we're going to be going through some different tips that you need to know in order to optimize your Google Business Listing for the best results. Google Business Listing is all part of what we call the digital dominance method. There are a lot of steps to this, and really we're in step one, really is building your foundation, doing your on-page optimization, building your website, starting to do some blogging, things of that sort. And these are all pieces of the puzzle that over time really will help you dominate your entire industry, your entire area, your entire location, that sort of thing. So this is all part of this system and what we call the digital dominance method. So today what we're going to cover is a couple things. We're going to talk about the latest updates with the Google Map listing. We're going to talk about the 5 biggest issues that could be preventing you from ranking in that system, or why you maybe are not showing up correctly. We're also going to talk about our proven model for ranking in what we call the 3-pack, and I'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the best tools to systemize and automate some of the heavy lifting. And then we're going to talk about how to get more authentic reviews. These are very important pieces to this entire system. So a little bit quickly about me. My name is Will Hankey. I'm a certified Google partner. I've been teaching digital marketing now for 22 years. I'm an active member of the WCAA, and my business specifically works with window treatment and awning businesses around the country. And lately, we've actually been talking to some people in Australia and South Africa, of all places, which is pretty interesting. But I guess they need window treatments too, right? So I also wrote a book called Your Internet Marketing Plan for Window Treatment Companies. If you have not received this book, I want to make sure that I get a copy into your hands. You can request it for free at wtmarketingpros.com/book. Little form there, ask for your address so I know where to send it to. And I'd love to get that to you, get that in your hands, by the end of the week, probably. So just visit that site, and it's around 80 pages, but it's packed full of all kinds of information about digital marketing and specifically for window treatment companies. Real quickly, this is my daughter, Amber. She works with me, so we're a family-owned business. We're also a veteran-owned business. And like I said, we specifically work with window covering companies. This is us winning an award 2 years ago, which we have actually just been notified that we won again, called the Future 50 Award, which is fastest growing business award. So we're very excited about that, and my daughter's excited as well. There is a Q&A section on your screen, so you should be able to pop in there and ask any questions. I'll do my best to kind of watch that and multitask as I'm talking and make sure that I answer any questions along the way. If I'm not able to get to them, we'll get to them at the end. But for the most part, I'm going to watch and hopefully just answer those as we go along. So if you do have any questions, just pop on there and I'll do my best to pay attention to it. So first of all, does Google Maps really matter? Well, here's an example. This is a search for window treatments Memphis. And what most people don't know is 71% of the clicks come in this map area, or what we call the 3-pack, and in the first couple organic results. So if you were on our webinar last month about on-page SEO, this bottom section is where that's really important. Today we're talking about the maps area. And mostly, really, this is very important for mobile devices. So people searching on mobile are going to trust this top area a lot more, and they're going to make a decision based on that top area. Now, in this particular case, I would be surprised if the Louvre shop actually was the first choice, because these other places have 5-star reviews and they've only got 2 reviews averaging 3 stars. But, so it just goes to show you that simple little things, in this case, you're looking at 2 reviews, 3 reviews, and 1 review. If you had 3 or 4 reviews, you'd be in that top area pretty quickly just from that one thing. We're going to cover a bunch of other things as well, but it's very important that, you're in that area on a search, specifically on mobile searches. Here's an example of another company who is ranking right there at the top, 31 reviews. These guys, Procter Drapery, with 4 reviews, don't have a chance, right, against 31. And then they're also in the organic rankings as well. So yes, it's very important. It's very much a part of your strategy that Google Maps is important and should be in there. It drives calls. So another thing that people can do is they can actually click on that listing and call you directly, get directions to your store if you have one right from there as well. So you can't just rely on pay-per-click ads, which cost money, to keep running. As soon as you stop paying, you disappear from those rankings. So this is a fantastic way around that. So I've already kind of mentioned factoring in mobile search. Here's an interesting graph. If you're thinking about which screen do I need to be on nowadays, talking about TV or radio, those kind of things, mobile phones as of 2019 have taken more eyeballs than TV, which is just incredible. So if you're not optimizing your website for mobile and you're getting into Google My Business, get into your Google Business Listing, those sort of things for mobile devices, you're missing a huge opportunity. Google said probably about 4 years ago now that if your site's not mobile friendly, it's not going to rank very well in their index. And then probably, I'd say 6 months ago now, Google actually split their index into 2. So there's desktop versions, there's desktop search, and there's mobile search, where they're actually showing different results, whether you're using, by what device you're using, a desktop or some sort of a mobile/tablet. They're showing different results. So it could be that you're showing up in one and not the other. Mobile is, it's hugely important. So let's talk about some of the biggest changes to the Google Maps system. So it's changed many times over the years. It used to be called Google Places. It used to be called, a bunch of different things. But now it also used to have 7 results. Now it's down to 3. And we just saw that in the Memphis example there, that there's just 3 listings. There's the little map, and then there's 3 listings. There's also an opportunity now to put a paid ad in that set of results. So I'm going to scoot back here, go back to the Memphis example right here. So this there's a potential here where right above the Louver Shop Memphis, you could actually run an ad now, a pay-per-click ad, to supplement these results. So there could be 4 results, and 2 of them could be your business, which is just crazy cool that that's an opportunity that wasn't available not too long ago. So, they've kind of moved that. They've also launched something called Google Home Services. It's live in most major markets. It is, however, not available for the window treatment / awning industry yet. So once that becomes available, it's really going to be a game changer, because you're going to be able to have another opportunity to be at the top of a page like this. So we'll be watching for that, and we'll have a webinar on it when they finally release it. It is available for other home services, plumbers, window cleaners, HVAC repair, things like that, but not for our industry just yet. It is critical to complete the advanced verification process. So they've changed that over the years, where they used to call you and you just put in a PIN number or something like that. Now they send you a postcard. Sometimes they ask for a little bit more information even. So it's very important that the entire process is done, completed all the way through. And it does require a real account to leave a review on Google now. So in the past, anybody could go on and leave a review specifically about how horrible your business was, and there was nothing you could do, and there was no way to trace that back to a person or anything like that. So they've cut that down. You really have to have a real account now, and that account has to be verified, which is a lot better for the business owner in particular. All right. Here is an example of the what we call the home services. So this is not available for us yet, but it's kind of dumping in a whole bunch of extra stuff, which is really cool, and it gives you just another opportunity to get more eyeballs on your business. Here's an example of this is an older example on the left. On the right is a newer example where you see the businesses across the top. So these are if you don't pay for these ads being up here, you only pay when somebody clicks on it and picks up the phone, fills out a form, something like that. So you're really paying per lead for these home services ads. So it's going to be exciting to see those when they do become available for our industry. Now, like I said, this is the old version, not really available anymore. So the new version, the way that they're doing stuff, is just incredible. Here's kind of how the Google Map system impacts the overall search results. So at the top, we have this home service ads, which won't show for the window treatment awning industry. So we could kind of blank that out. But then we've got a couple ads of local businesses that are running ads. If anybody in your area or city is running ads, I've seen some major cities where there are no window treatment ads running, which kind of blew me away. So then we've got the Google My Business area, which is the map plus the 3-pack. And then we've got the Google, the SEO or the organic rankings after that. Now, your real objective here is to own the search results. So to be in all of these places, right? You want to be, at the top if possible. You want to be in the 3-pack. You want to have the organic results. You want to be in all of those areas if possible. At the same time, I also mentioned here third-party listings. So things like Angie's List, Yext, Yelp, Houzz, some of these, so that, if those particular third-party sites are ranking well for your business or your services, hopefully not above your own website, but even if they are, they're pushing people to your business. The other thing that's really great about that is you're pushing your competitors down off of page 1 by optimizing these other third-party listings as well. So you get your maps. If you're running an ad, you might be in the maps twice, which is awesome. Then you're ranking organically in maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4 spots right on the front page. You're really going to own that front page, and it's going to be pretty difficult to not pick your business as the one that they want to call and do business with. Now, one other thing that has come out recently is fake business listings. And Google's done a great job over the last several years of, first of all, requiring there to be a real account. They've done some other things to kind of thwart the fact that there are fake business listings in there. They've done a great job. So that used to be a big concern, is that there's all these fake ones in there and I'll never get mine in there. But that's not really the case anymore. All right, so what could be hurting your rankings on the map system? Well, let's talk about those. First of all, you need to have an office in the city that you're trying to rank for. So in the area that you're targeting. So this is very important, and it kind of hurts businesses that are a little bit on the outskirts, a little bit further away from maybe the central area. Like in this case, if I type in Seattle awnings, basically Google is going to pinpoint me in Seattle and start showing me a radius from there. I'm not saying it's impossible, and you can have a place that's 20, 30, 50 miles from that center of the city and still show up in these rankings. It's just easier if that's not the case. It's not impossible. It's just easier. Also, if you do fill out your business listing and you try to put some different things in there that maybe is not your business name, or maybe you're trying to put keywords in certain places, they've done a fantastic job now of really kind of deleting all of those. And I would say it's great, but it's not perfect. I've seen some, especially up in like the New York area where there's lots and lots of competition. I still see some non-business names, but rather keyword stuff. So it's still out there, but they've done a great job of it. If you've put in, instead of putting in your business name, you put in your number one keyword, window treatments, Seattle, or Seattle awnings, as the name of your business, like these first guys here. If that's not really their business name, and you could visit their website and find out, then these guys should be reported because they're not putting in the actual name of their business. But if you've done something similar to that, then you definitely need to go back and fix that. Another big thing is what we call the NAP, the name, address, phone number. The profile that you have all around the web really needs to always be the same. And it needs to be the same down to whether you write out the word road or you use RD, boulevard or BLVD. If you have a suite, that it's always suite number 200 and not sometimes box 200 or something like that. So it's very important that your name, address, and phone number always be very consistent, no matter where you're putting it, whether that's on Angie's List, House, your Chamber of Commerce, any other place where your business might be listed. And we're going to talk a little bit more about citations here in a little bit, but anywhere that your business is listed, it needs to always be exactly the same. It's very important. The big thing here is phone number. Phone number is important because a lot of people will put some sort of a call tracking number on their website. And if Google sees one phone number everywhere, but then on your website they see a different number, that's going to throw a little wrench into the works. So you need to make sure that Google sees your real phone number everywhere the same. And there are ways to do that where you can still use the call tracking as well. Also, if you spam your city or, in the company name area. So in this example, again, Seattle Awnings, if that's not really the name of their company, or the second one, Northwest Awning and Fabric in Seattle, had they done something like that, they could get kicked out of the system or penalized or something like that. So very important to have your actual business name, your location, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, do you have enough reviews? This is a huge one we know it's difficult to get reviews. It's easy to get the negative reviews, difficult to get the positive reviews, which shouldn't be the case, but it is, right? So getting those reviews, and here in this example, Seattle Awnings, we're looking at 3, 5, and 4 reviews. These are the number one guys for this particular search. So, if you come along and you're able to get 6, 7, 10 reviews, you're gonna dominate this listing for sure. And the other thing is social proof, which is a big thing on the web. People are going to see one that has 10 or 20 reviews, and then these other guys have a couple. There's something to be said in people's minds that I'm going to click on the one that has 20 reviews because they probably know what they're doing more than the other guys. So, and we're going to talk about some ways to get more reviews because so important. All right. So let's talk about our proven formula to getting into the 3-pack. I've kind of alluded to some of it already, but you know how it is. So first of all, Google My Business. You need to claim that listing, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail. And then you need citations, which are mentions of your business all around the web. You need the reviews, and lastly, you need on-page SEO to really kind of round that out. So number one, let's talk about this. Claim and optimize your business listing. This is big, and there's a lot of stuff here, but you need to make sure that you have a verified login for your Google My Business account, and you would get this at google.com/business. So pretty much everybody has a Google account. This is where you would tie that to your real account. Maybe you have to verify your phone. They may want to send you a postcard, those kind of things. But you need to make sure that you have a good account there. And then make sure that you go in and put in your actual company name. Don't put any keywords in this area. Just put your real business name. Add your website address. If it's not HTTPS, which is secure, that's a different issue, but you need to have a secure website for the best opportunity of ranking here. And also, this is a link back to your site. So one of the big things with SEO is the more links you have to your site, the more votes Google thinks you have, and the higher you're going to rank in the organic section. So why not plug your link in there and get people, get that important link there. Before I go on, there's actually now in Google My Business, there's a second box for your appointment link. So you can actually set a separate link in there that goes to your Contact Us page, or if you have a set an appointment page, something like that. You can actually add that second link in there as well. So put your website, homepage, main address, and then put that appointment link in there as well. Use a local number. So 800 numbers are kind of going away. There's no reason to have them anymore. There's no such thing really as long distance charges anymore. So having a local number will definitely help you out. And, that needs to be the right prefix area for your area. Use a local address. So no PO boxes, no UPS stores. So those both used to be ways to kind of get around the system. But you need a real address. And if you don't have a real address in town, let's say you're 40, 50 miles away from town, you are in a disadvantage. It might be worth finding a friend that has a place in town where you could rent, an office room or something along those lines and have mail go to somewhere that's a little bit more local. The only bad thing about that is if people want to come to your location, and you just rented an office somewhere, that's not going to work. So, but there are ways to get around the fact that you're miles and miles away from the center of the city. Upload photos. So this is fairly easy to do in the window treatment awning industry because you should be taking pictures of every single install that you do. And even better would be a before and after. Those would be great if you can get your installers to do it. If you're the one doing the installs, even better. It's just remembering to do it before and after. And upload all of those that you can. Pictures of your staff, pictures of the office, picture of your workroom, anything you can do. People love to connect with businesses that are real people and not just corporate enterprises. So make sure that you're uploading pictures very regularly as you continue to do install jobs. The other thing is a lot of manufacturers let you use their pictures. I know Hunter Douglas they have an entire website you can go to and get pictures. Put those pictures out there because if somebody's on a mobile device and they're trying to decide between a couple different locations, and inside Google Maps, there's pictures of all these beautiful houses and draperies and cornices and such, that works well in your favor, especially if the other two don't have a lot of pictures up there. And then lastly, make sure that you list your hours of operation and services offered. So hours, very important, because in mobile especially, it's going to show whether you're open or closed. So you can see these here. It says open closes at 5 p.m., open closes at 8 p.m., closes at 5 p.m. So once you're closed, it shows up in red that this location is closed. So having those hours of operation, very important. And also there's now a place in there where you can put special hours that you're closed. So we've got, what do we got coming up? Memorial Day is coming up. I think that would be the next big holiday. So having that special day saying, normally we're open this day, but, because it's Memorial Day, we're closed. So you can go in and just set that up really quickly and say, no, we're closed that day, or yes, we're open that day at reduced hours, that kind of stuff. So very important. And then services offered. You can actually list out your different services or your different product brands or, window treatments. You can do Roman shutters, blinds, all of the different kind of sub products that you offer. Those all can be listed inside Google Maps or your Google business listing. All right. Any questions so far? Let's see. Oh, no questions. You guys are a quiet bunch. That's okay. Well, if you do have any questions, go ahead and stick them in there. I'll be happy to answer them for you. So once you get into Google My Business, that's at google.com/business again. The most important thing here is you're going to want to click on this info button over on the left. And that's where a lot of the stuff I just went through is located. So you're going to want to fill this out, and I can't scroll down, but this is where you would add your hours. You would add all these different things. It'll show you your latest reviews, things of that sort. Very important area to make sure that you fill out as many things as possible. Once you click edit, you'll see a little bit more information. What kind of categories should you be in? So of course, I'm looking at mine. So it's marketing agency, but you would want to put window treatment company here, shutters, awnings, things of that sort. Put your address, your hours, and then down here you'll see here's our special hours. So we were closed for whatever that was in May. I can't think of it right now. Labor Day, and of course July 4th, right? So you can put in those special hours there. There's more below this that you just don't see here, but an opportunity to put in a ton of information. And then, of course, it shows up, on your site as verified when you go look at your Google listing, which is really nice. So they'll send you a postcard, they'll send you an email, maybe they'll call you, but it will show up as a verified site, which is very important in the overall scheme of things. It just looks so much better. There's also photos. There's an area for adding photos. I mentioned that. Make sure you put those in as much as you can. And then there's an Insights tab, which is just fantastic. It shows you how many people, how many times your business showed up, and then how many times it showed up in maps, and then how many times people clicked on it as well. When, whether it showed up, how many people clicked on the call button, how many people clicked request directions to your location, those kind of things. All very important, very cool insights that you can get that will really kind of help you tweak your system and encourage you to continue to optimize it, really. So some best practices that I want to make sure we go through: update your photos and add them on a consistent basis. Very important. Leverage Google Posts by posting at least once every 90 days. I'd probably even say every 30 days, 45 at the latest. But inside the same Google My Business area, you can actually put a little post there, whether it's to some sort of a special you're running, latest blog that you wrote, something along those lines. And those little posts will show up mostly on mobile devices again, just to encourage the searcher that, we're active, we're out there putting lots of information out. Respond to reviews. So this is a tough one. Responding to a 5-star review, pretty easy. You say, thanks, hope you really enjoy those draperies or whatever it happens to be, right? But the 2 and 3 stars or the 1 stars, those really need a response too. And you had to be really careful not to be defensive. And typically a good response is, we're sorry you feel that way. Please give us a call and we'd be happy to fix it. So even if they call you and you fix it, they're probably not going to go back and fix that 1 or 2 star review, but other searchers will see that the owner replied with that and kind of discount it, which is nice. They'll say, okay, this company is, really, they're trying their best to not get these low 2 and 3 star, 1 star reviews. So very important to respond to every review that you get. And then if they do post a question, there's an area where somebody can post a question. Do you guys clean blinds? Something like that. Yes, we do, or no, we don't. We recommend you go to this and such company. So anytime that a question pops up in there, make sure you get in there and answer it. And typically when a question is posted, Google will email your Google account, which is typically a Gmail account, and let you know that there's a new question out there as well, so that you can go answer it. All right, number 2, citations. So I mentioned earlier, citations are basically mentions of your business around the web. And the reason that I say mentions and not links is because they could have a link in them, or they might not have a link in them. It really just depends. Some chambers of commerce, for instance, might have a business listing page where they list all of their members, but it may or may not have a link in there. But what's most important is that your name, address, phone number matches everywhere across the web. So when Google crawls that Chamber of Commerce website, they actually make that connection with your business and say, oh, this is the same name, address, phone number as what we have in our database. So it actually kind of counts as a link back to your site. So that's why it's so important. Even if you don't get that beautiful blue link that people can click on, there's still an opportunity for you to, for Google to make that connection and you to benefit from it. So make sure that you limit any duplicate or incorrect business information. If you've moved, we have a client who just discovered they had a listing with an old address that they were at years ago. So we went in and deleted that address, make sure it was correct across that system. But any of those old or out of date phone numbers, addresses, those kind of things all need to be fixed. And it might just be as easy as, if you have an old address, just type the old address into Google and maybe the word window or something like that, and just see if any of your listings come up that Google has found with the old address in there. And then you can go find that website and figure out how to fix it, which is not always fun. But there are a lot of opportunities to get citations even in our industry. There's of course the WCAA, there's Houzz, Yelp, manufacturers or vendors that you have. They may have some sort of a listing where they list who their dealers are, things of that sort. Google Plus, Facebook, of course. There's a lot of places that you can get links and or citations from around the web. Of course, blogs, other people's blogs even. There are, like I said, Chamber of Commerce. If you're in any other organizations like Kiwanis or some local business networking group or something like that, important that you get listed in there for sure. Now, when it comes to kind of controlling all of this, there are some online services that can help with this. There's Bright Local, there's White Spark, Advice Local, Moz, and Yext. So we prefer White Spark, which is whitespark.ca, and we also like Moz Local. So I think Moz Local is like $119 a year. I don't know the price on the others. I know Yext is hundreds of dollars and does a lot of the same stuff that Moz does, pretty close. So we prefer Moz Local. The really cool thing about Moz is you can actually go plug in your information. I got a screenshot of it here. Plug in your name, your street number, your zip code, and they will go search these systems plus a lot more and figure out, okay, here's the address on this one, here's the address on this one, and it will say, okay, which address do you want to always use? And once you establish that, then they'll say, okay, your address is a little different on this one and a little different on this one. So you want to make sure that it's always the same across all of those networks. So Sue is saying, I work out of my home, so I didn't want to list my address on the Google listing. How much is that hurting my listing? And do you have any suggestions? Yeah, so there is a box on Google My Business that says something along the lines of, customers do not come to my location to do business, or so, I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. But if you check that box, they won't show it in, like the street view, things like that. They typically won't show your address in there, but it's still important for them to know what that address is, so that when they find these citations, they still make that connection. So the big thing there really is you don't want people showing up at your house I thought this was a business, that kind of stuff. So I think it's as simple as checking that box in the back end of your profile saying people don't come to this location. The other way around this is to get a business location, like I said, closer to the center of town. whether that's, somebody that that has a business and you rent their closet, for $1 a year or something like that, somewhere that you can just get mail, because what's going to happen is Google's going to send a postcard to the address you're claiming as yours. And that postcard will have a PIN number on it that you're going to have to verify. I really received mail at this location, that kind of stuff. So there are some ways around it. And that's where the UPS store used to be really great about it. You just go buy 6 UPS stores around town and have the whole city dominated. Not as much the case anymore, but that's probably the best way to kind of solve that. Hopefully that helps you, Sue. All right. Oh, that's a blank page. Okay, that's interesting. Here we go. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like when it comes back to you. It looks like your business name is 69% fixed around the web. Your address is at this. Your phone number is at this, and then they give you, like Foursquare, your listing wasn't even found, so you can click there, go fill it out, that kind of stuff. So there is still some manual work that needs to be done, but at least they go out and find all these places for you, and it's super worth the $120 or whatever it costs per year, to make sure that all of those are accurate and as similar as they can be. All right, so some best practices about citations. Manually claim and optimize your Google My Business account. That's at google.com/business. You need to claim that, fill it out as much as you can, and then wait for that postcard to come in. Sometimes they'll just approve it, but in most cases, they're going to send you a postcard. Secondly, use a tool like Yext or Moz to really get those top citations all the same across all the different systems. Get listed in the major data aggregators. So once you start filling out this stuff over at Moz or Yext, other sites are going to pick that up and start putting your listing on other sites you didn't even realize existed. So once you start this process with a tool, or you can do it manually, it just takes hours and hours of work, really. And then leverage a tool like Bright Local or Whitespark. We like Whitespark to find niche listing opportunities. So the really cool thing about Whitespark is you can type in window treatments and then for location type Seattle, and it will basically come up with a listing of all kinds of blogs and business directories and all kinds of places where you can go manually submit citations or submit your business to all of these different websites. And over time, you can mark, this blog wanted money. So you can mark that. You can mark that it's expired, or yes, this worked great. And then over time, it really learns what to give you, to go build more citations with. So fantastic service. It does cost. I don't think it's very expensive. $10 or $15 a month, maybe, if that. All right. If you do want a list of citations, we've kind of put 75 of them together at wtmarketingpros.com/citations. So there's a complete listing there, and I'm working on getting a PDF of it together and things like that, that you can go get this kind of information. Typically, if you're using a service like Moz or something, you might still want to go through this list, but it's pretty significant. So number 3, get lots of real reviews. This is important that the word real is in there. So you can get your mom to write one and all your cousins, but you really need to get real reviews from real customers at some point. You're gonna run out of family, right? So here's kind of a strategy to drive consistent reviews. First of all, leverage tools that request reviews after every call, after every service call or install. There are tools out there, and I'm going to show you one that we use and all of our clients have access to. You can also leave a printed review card. So one thing you can do is just get business cards printed that basically just say, we hope you had a great experience, and maybe has a little QR code on there that brings them straight to a page where they can leave a review. These kind of things are fantastic, super easy to do, that kind of stuff. train your installers to plant a seed and, of course, deliver world-class experience. But, there are ways that the installers can say, boy, we really use those really good reviews, it makes our entire company better, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Make a call after the service to walk them through the review process. So call them to follow up, which I'm sure most of you do anyway. Hope you're happy with your drapes. We'd love for you to leave us a review. Oh, I don't know how to do that. Okay, well, here's how you do it, and you just walk them through it right there on the phone. And then you build reviews and recognition into your company culture. So specifically, if you have other people, if you have a CPA, or you have a bigger business like with an IT guy or something like that, no matter who it is, they should always be asking for reviews. And maybe even at the end of every email needs to be a prompt to go leave us a review. Did you enjoy our service today? Please go leave us a review. So there are some things that you can do, and there are tools available that can help with some of this as well. Speaking of which, our tool that we use for all of our clients is called the Review System Pro. And you can go to reviews.wtmarketingpros.com and get a little bit more information about that. You can fill out this form here to learn some more, but you can also scroll down the page a little bit and kind of run a test on your company to see where it ranks and how many reviews are correct. Are there other places where you have poor reviews and you need to kind of address those? So plug your business name, your zip code, your phone number in there, make sure you're not a robot. Hit the button, it'll output a PDF for you, all for free. All right, number 4 is going to be the easy one, and that's on-page optimization. So I'm not going to go into this, although it's very important that your website, every page on your website is optimized for your location, for your keywords, for all of those things. And the reason I'm not going to go into it is because our training in June was on this exact subject, local and on-page SEO. So you can go watch that anytime you want and just review it, at no cost to you. And you can find that and a bunch of other training that we've done at wtmarketingpros.com/training. We've got all of our training out there since January, and you can go kind of watch all of that as well. So I'm not going to go over it very much, right? But I think, there's still opportunity for you to do so. The big thing really is to optimize your site, start building those city pages that we talk about in that other training, and really kind of get those in place. So our total formula to getting ranked in the 3-pack is optimize your Google My Business listing, claim it, optimize it, start getting these citations all around the web, start getting reviews, start requesting those reviews consistently. Most of our clients request reviews typically on Friday. Well, I take that back. A lot of our clients will send us the list of clients that they did installs for that week, and then we will plug them into that system I showed you. And on Monday, that client would get a request to leave a review, and that works fairly well. So, got a question here about, let's see, that's Jamie, about data aggregators. So these are just bigger companies that aggregate all kinds of data about businesses, about people, about anything. So down to you go to Walgreens or CVS and use your card. They keep track of what you're purchasing, and then you get coupons for that a couple weeks later. That's really what the data aggregators do the most, but they're pulling in information about businesses as well and what kind of services they offer, those sort of things. So it's just these giant data machines, data companies that are keeping track of all kinds of information, down to services, products, that kind of stuff, location, all of that. So really you get into those mostly just by starting to building the citations and claiming your Facebook page. All of those things are related. So I think there's only 3 or 4 really big players in that area. Used to be one called Cambridge Analytica, which you may recognize that name, that got in big trouble with Facebook probably a year or so now ago, that had all kinds of information they were sharing with Facebook advertisers that maybe they shouldn't have been sharing. So, all right. And then, of course, the last piece is the on-page SEO. Super important. Make sure that you go back to wtmarketingpros.com/training and watch that on-page SEO training broadcast as well. The last thing is, I did mention, I pretty much talked about Google My Business this entire time. There is also a Bing version of this. And it should not be ignored. So Bing Places is what it's called. I think it's bingplaces.com if I'm not mistaken. But same thing. Claim your listing here. Make sure that all of the NAP information is correct. And this is important, I think, for window treatments, especially because it tends to skew to an older demographic, and Bing tends to skew to an older demographic. So it's very possible that your customers are on Bing, and that your business not being listed there could be hurting you. And at the same time, you might be the only business that's listed there if your competitors haven't even thought about claiming their business there. So definitely worth the time to go through the same process on Bing as well. Sign up, get an account, claim your listing. And then as you see at the top here, they even give $100 search advertising credit, as well as start pushing people towards your site that way. So $100 free. It's always nice to have. Sometimes they make you spend $50 or something to get the 100, but it's still worth it. All right. If you have any questions about anything today, or you want to talk to us about working with your business to really get it to start ranking, get it into Google My Business, start getting more leads, more traffic to your site, I'd love just to have a short discovery call with you. You can call the number here, 314-334-1681, or you can set up a thing right there online at wtmarketingpros.com/strategy. And we'll just go through a couple things, what's going on with your business, what are your goals for the coming year, that kind of stuff. I'd love the opportunity to speak with you about that. All right, and August training. So our next training is going to be a lot different. What we're going to do is we're actually going to do live website critiques. So if you want us to pull up your website and then go through it and tell you what you're doing right, tell you what you're doing wrong, poke some holes in it, and you're okay with us doing that in a public way, as in on a webinar like this, then we're going to do that. And we typically charge $600 to $700 for what we call an SEO audit of a site. This is your opportunity to get that for free. Not almost for free, but for free. So we will take a list of all the people that have submitted. We'll run it through some random generators, pick out 4 or 5 of them, and then go through those websites. And even if yours isn't picked, just to see, what other people are doing right, what other people are doing wrong, really helps improve your business as well. So I'd love to have you on there. To sign up, just go to wtmarketingpros.com/training. There's already a link there to sign up. There's also a link there to submit your business or your website as one of the ones that we do the critique on. So I thank you for your time. I don't see any other questions. If you do have any other questions or want to follow up, give me a call, 314-334-1681, or schedule a quick discovery call with us. We'd love to answer any questions. Thanks for being on. We went a little short today, but that's okay. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.